First of all, I would like to thank you for calling me and giving me a chance to share my experience, to share my voice as well. My name is Yirgalem Fisseha Mebrahtu, Eritrean writer and poet. I'm living here in München, and I'm a scholarship holder for PEN Germany, Writers in Exile. I started writing when I was elementary school. My teachers were encouraging me to continue my writing, and I was presenting poems and every national and international days as a student, So my teachers were creating platform for me every days, the holidays. So at that time, I get more interest to involve and to continue my writings. So I'm continuing still now. عقل صبت شلاي كند قمتي مدرا خند عرتي أيرا بقنت أرو مقطع خمت أبل وشاطئة جهنم معصا أفقبل لو مسمري روني كتصوراي كالكون سب قديفو ولا سيطاني خون أناي تزبلني نابي عيم بقولكون Eritrea, which is my beloved country, located in East Horn of Africa, a small, beautiful country at the coast of Red Sea. It has the beautiful landscape, respectful culture, and in natural resource, it's a very rich country, but in administration and human rights, very, very poor country. Eritrea is known for being the most censorship country in the world, and very known for disappear its citizens for no reason. And it's one-man ruled country for 30 years almost. Yeah, more than 30 years now. So the political situation is the worst. I can say the worst. 1998, we had conflict with Ethiopia, and we were in war. So we had a big challenge at that time too. So this side of a group, this group wants to discuss about what we gained and what we lost from the war. And totally the war, they discredit the war. It was not necessary. They say it was not necessary, but we have done. Let's discuss what we gained and what we lost. And we need change in our system. So as the president, so-called president, as the president didn't agree with their idea, he ignored them, and they started to establish their ideas, to write their ideas on the newspapers, and then, everything became to the worst stage, and the president arrested all the ministers and higher officials, generally that group, arrest, and all the editors, founders, and journalists, writers, and contributors to the newspapers. So, September 2001, all newspapers and we call G15, the higher officials of the government, they were 15, so group 15, G15 we say. So G15 and the journalists disappeared from Eritrea, and we don't know where they are and are they alive or not. So that was 2001, September. They say it's the national service, but yeah, it's military, include military. When you go to the military camp, for example, let me talk about myself. I went to the military. It's must, whether you are female or male, after you finish your high school, or when if you 18 or 17, after 17, 18, you have to go there. Whether you finish your school or you stop learning at school, anywhere, you have to go there, everybody. So if you score points to continue your education to college and university or some institutes, you can you can continue your school, and after finish, you go back to national service, not to the military. You go to the every offices, but you work as a national service for free. Let me give you an example. The first round national training, the military training has taken in 1994. And the people who went at that time are still in national service. And they got married, and their children joined them to be a soldier. So you can get 3 generations in the military. So it's endless. I was paid $9 months, for example, at the beginning. And then 500 now means about $30 for months. For example, I was helped by my family. The whole 5 years I was working with Radio Bana for my house rent, for transportation, clothes, food, everything, groceries, yeah. It was not my special case. It's everyone works for free to the government as national service. They call that national service, but it's not national service for me, because national service has end. So if you serve for the system endless years and years, it's not the national service for me. So it was difficult, but I was happy to live in the capital city on the other hand, because I was working in the place I want to work, and it's the capital city has a bit facility than the village and the park places. So I was happy to live there with all obstacles. ገጣሚት ኣይኮንኩን ገጥሚ እፈቱ እምበር ገጣሚት ኣይኮንኩን ገጣሚት ድንቕ ግን ገጣሚት ይበልኩን ኣነ ደኣ ትብዓተይ ቀቲለ ሕልና ያቕሲለ ዓይነይ ዓሚተ እዝነይ ኣሚነ ልብኻ ዓሚጽካ ምንባር ክኢለ ንሓቂ ኸይስየፍ ደኒነ እናኸድኩ መቃብር ስምዒተይ ኮይነ እናሃለኹ ተጋጊኸለኺ ተጋጊኻለኻ ኣነ ይኮንኩን ታትብላ ዘለኻ ከመይ ድዩ ገጣሚ ከመይ ድያ ገጣሚት ንህይወት ሽፋና ዘይኮነ ዕምቆታ ልሳና ዘይኮነ ስምዒታ ኣንቢቡ መርሚሩ መዝጊቡ ሓቅን ፍቕርን ሕልናን ፍትሕን ኣዋሲቡ ምእንቲ ጽባቐ ዝነብር ኣብ ግድሊ ንልቡ ዘዳምጽ እኮዩ ገጣሚ ጠበቓ ውጽዓት ልሳን ዝተዓብሱ ትንፋሱ ከኽትት ዝሓፀየ ነብሱ ብርዑ ዝጥዋፉ ስምዒቱ ሴፉ እኮዩ ገጣሚ ብርሃንን ቀንዴልን ዘይነብሮ ማዕርግ ኣነ ኣይቅበልን ክኸውን እምበር كمثل አይደለም. Radio Bana, Radio Bana was educational media, and it was owned by Ministry of Education. That's why I get a chance to go there, because as I trained as a teacher, I was under the Ministry of Education, and the Radio Bana is mainly education for adults who didn't go school. So the target groups are adult Radio Bana. So it's education through media. So I cannot say I was journalist. I was, teacher and journalist, mixing I was the producer and present host for the health program, and we had the agriculture program and entertainment program. So the good thing is we had any link with propaganda of the government. So I was happy to work with Radio Bana, very happy, even though bad thing followed to the years I worked with Radio Bana, even though it was because I was working there, but I was happy anyways, because it has no any link or issue with politics. Even that's why we are arrested anyways, because in Eritrea it's even there is no right to remain silent. So keeping yourself from propaganda is enough reason to be interrogated, to be asked, to be summoned somewhere, to be arrested. So remain silent is not safe place in Eritrea, not safe side. And then one day, soldiers came to our office and surrounded our offices and come in, and they took us to the military prison. They collected us and they took us and hold the office. And what I realized when we arrived in the prison, other poets and journalists joined us, and totally we were about near to 50 people. And then at that evening, it was at afternoon, and we were arrived there. About 6 o'clock, early evening. And then some of us released at that event, and more than 26 we stay there. And that prison is located 5 or 6 kilometers from the capital city. It's not far, and it's very famous prison in Eritrea called Ad Abito. And I stayed there 3 months with other many prisoners. And then after 3 months, they took me to other very harder and very famous prison, which is about 4 or 5 kilometers far from Ad Abito, called Maisarwa. And I stayed there. I ended up my imprisonment there 5 years or 8 months, and so. I knew people who are locked in a 2 by 2 meter room, which is cell. It's bedside room, literally bedside room. But they are 20 years in that room. Even it's it's very difficult to imagine how could you expect a person can stay alive in this room after 20, 18 years or 14, 15 years. Everything is inside. 2 by 2, besides. So we were not allowed officially, but in some cases, it depends on our tricks too, to get help from, what can you get? For example, we're not allowed to say hi each other. They ask you why. Why? It's not allowed, just you never ask. We know each other, even brothers and sisters are together in the same prison I was, but they never say hi each other, even hi by distance. I personally have some connections with prisoners because I was admitted to the hospital so many times. So I can have know-how about the whole life of the prisoners because I was asking prisoners, every prisoner I met. So I was the lucky person to meet another prisoners. Dictatorship is in many countries, in Africa especially, many countries are ruled by dictators. But you know what they hate, you know what they like. And if you are far from what they hate, you are safe. In other countries, if you are focused on your business, in other countries, you are safe. But in Eritrea, nowhere is safe. Nowhere is safe. It's a skill for the, the government is very smart how to terrorize people. And in Eritrea, if someone arrested, especially if the media people, if you are working in media or as the higher officials, what we mentioned, it's not only when the government arrests such kind of people, it's not only to punish those people, it's also to terrorize the other people. So they don't have tolerance. They are zero tolerance for different voices, different ideas, different point of view, differences, total. They are zero tolerant for differences. So we struggle in prison, we struggle with many emotions. Sometimes you become hopeless for everything. And sometimes, I was when I fell down emotionally, I used to bring my family photo to my mind and my enemy photo. Both encourage me. These photos are the source of my encouragement. My families, I want to see them one day again. My enemy, I want them to see me again. Alekhu. Etawar بتسلم دبنا أكلان برهانا أنت تشفينا تخوي لامبر مويتان ولادنا ድብዝዝ እንተበለት ከም ዝተታኸሰት ብርሃና ከይሕባ እናተቃለሰት ወትሩ ኣለኹ እንድያ ትብል ተስፋ ፈታዊኣ ምእንቲ ከይቅምስል ከምኡ ድማ እዚ ዕግታትኪ ምስ እልቢ ንፋሱ ኣዒንተይ ኣንቢዑ ተንፋሰይ ዓቢሱ ሞተይ ከርእየኒ እንዲ ተበጊሱ ኣጭኒቑ ነይተርፍ መንፋሱ ኩሉፍ ከብለኒ ዕድመይ ካሕፅረለይ ካብታ ዝርከባ እንተቆርመመለይ ትኪ ወዲ ትኪ ዘይውዳእ ዝመስል ከም ዝፈተወኒ እንተበለኒ ዕስል ካብቲ ውሽጡ ጽባሕ ጊሓት ካብ ጥሽ ከም ዝወፀት መርዓት መሰስ ክብለ ጸቢቐ ብኹርዓት In Tigrinya, it's Alekhu. It's one word, Alekhu. So it's published in Tigrinya with title Alekhu, and it's I'm Still Alive in English. Ich liebe noch. Is it? Ich liebe noch? Yeah, in German. But I would love to say I'm still alive, because it's written while I was in prison, in the hardest time even, you know. So I passed through the hard torture and interrogation. So related. It comes from the situation I was. So I would like to say I'm alive. I'm still alive. You know, I was near to die because of the torture. And I can say literally I don't know what they aim, but I was near to die. So I said that I'm still alive. So that was the poem comes from the written at the time I was at the very difficult situation. It shows my feeling and hope at the same time. I was in coma. I was in coma. I had days without knowing myself where I am. So I would say I thank to the doctors that treated me at that time. I always thank them. They saved my life. I know people who died in the prison. In the interrogation room. They killed people. But fortunately, I didn't die in that room. And then I have been taken to the hospital and admitted in the hospital, stay 5 months there. So the information about my case has been linked to the public. So maybe if I had been died in the interrogation room, they can tell my family she was sick and she died. But fortunately, my case was linked to the public because I was in the public hospital, but prison ward, and the news was spread to the city, to the public. So I don't know, maybe because of that, I don't know, I'm not sure. It's in Eritrea, it's compared to family from family. My case was with all difficulties, with all sorrow, with all pain, compared to other prisoners. Mine was okay. And my family were lucky than the other families. Many people died and nothing done for their family. Even I knew the people who died in the prison, in the interrogation room, but their family are still waiting for them. They don't know nothing. Just they think that they are in some hiding prisoners. There are many unknown and hidden prisoners in Eritrea. So if your beloved one disappear, you didn't think that they kill him or kill her. Just you think that, okay, they disappear him, but you hope that you will see one day. But I know prisoners who died in interrogation room, but their family are still waiting them. So what if I met this family? What can I say with them? How can I control my tears in front of them? So I prefer to be far off them. I don't want to see them. تتصحف دلخا تحنط تجحجر بزي دمصي تمدر تتصحف دلخا نعمقت سمعيت لو يسكا بنبعات مس حافظتو مس مقوتو اب اوانو اب ساعتو حقي تسحيغا فتحينا تجويت حليت ترقصا فقري نقويت نجرات سيئنو قيدي قف مسبلكا اب منقدي كم سبكادو ازنغا توتف بقانزان صوتان نفيسكا تهتف ويسرق إلكا تأزب تصحف نتحاسوتهم حقي نتحق حاسوت مسلين نتوم كبري تبعت كادم ماموت أنا بلوخه كميلكا خد حلفو بدو كاب كنميخا انكلو محلفو تتصحفو مبر كميدي تتصحفو صحف بلحان تتقفل فلو ورقة اسكابي يا بأمرو صحفو مو أبصبق أمبرو نفاس أبزي رخبو وحج أبزي فحرو نجزيو قبل بقفرو. Amanuel was for me he's the one from his colleagues who are arrested with him. He is the closest one to me. He was the closest one to me, and he was my mentor, and he was a poet, chief editor-in-chief, the Zaman newspaper, which means Times, poet, critic, songwriter. So he personally he was very close to me, and as I was teenager at that time, he was treating me as young sister of him, like a sister, young sister. And I was writing in his newspaper. Just it was contribution, but it was a lot for me. As a teenager, when you able to publish your writings, it's not easy. So he did so many things for me. He was my mentor. Yeah, this is Amanuel. And it's Eritrea, the place they are. Just we heard, nobody knows where they are, but just Eritrea, it's a place, a prison, rim. I don't know, even personally, I don't know where is Eritrea, but a kind of Sahara, no facility, no water, no, it's very hot place. And some of them committed to suicide and some of them die because of from disease. But we hope Amanuel is alive. We hope. We didn't hear any bad news. Just that is the only hope. And he has brothers and sisters, and I met them, one sister and two brothers, and father and mother. I spent 2 days with them. But it was good for me and for them too. They were very happy to see me. But it was hard time for me too, because how can we, we cannot speak without remembering Amanuel, and how you manage things, you don't know. So it was difficult for me. Anyways, this is about Amanuel. Even when I was in Eritrea, I had the same feeling with the family, the prisoners' family. So we don't have good news about their beloved ones. You don't want to tell them how it looks like the prison, because it's terrorize. It can terrorize them if you tell them how it looks like, how is day-to-day prisoners' life. And I cannot speak with how was my imprisonment time with them, because it's horror. I can tell them the details, and I don't have good news. I don't have hope about their beloved ones. So it's painful for me to stay with them. How can they laugh with me? They are wounded. They are. It's difficult to put in words. I can't put my feeling in words. Just I feel their pain. That's why I say I'm lucky. So the punishment is not for one individual, the whole family. If you punish the whole family, you are destroying the whole society. If you are destroying society, you are destroying a country. So how can I say, that's why I cannot say the government. I'm opposing the government. It's not because I was arrested. It's not because I was arrested. The government, the system is purposely destroying the society and the country. And being supporter of this regime is a crime by itself. For me, it's a crime. Even here, even in München, even in Germany, there are many supporters of the government. If the system make people suffer, if this system, the regime, kill people without taking the court, if this system do every bad things, how could you support this? So I don't feel comfort with these supporters if I don't trust them. I don't trust them to be open, So I'm conscious in every steps I do, because I don't trust the government, even here. But it doesn't mean I feel unsafe. sometimes I suffer about what I passed through, and sometimes I feel I get in the trap. I arrested for a reason, and I arrested for I release it for a reason. So if I believe I arrested and I release it for a reason, I have to do something. No, so I feel that who will tell the prison I was in? Every prisoner doesn't allow to be visited, doesn't allow to have to read books, doesn't allow to have pen or paper. So even the family doesn't know about him or her, even about the situation, about day-to-day life of the prisoners. Who will tell them if I didn't do that? Because everyone from Eritrea, I can say everyone from Eritrea has the similar or the same or similar experience. So I don't want to tell people I passed through that. Just I want to show them what the prison looks like, what one prisoner facing, or how we suffer or something. So I decide to write in some issues. It was only about the interrogation time and admitting to the hospital. So I that's why the readers, maybe the Eritrean or non-Eritrean, the readers who want to know about the reality in Eritrean prisons, I want them to know every details and feeling, and those detailing can create feeling. And the Eritrean ones, they can relate their experience with it, and the non-Eritrean, the international people can say, what? So that's why I want to write every details, just to give the picture. Details are very important. If I could get listeners, I want to tell what's happened in Eritrea, how people are suffering in Eritrea. Even not only the arrested people and their family too. You can imagine your brother or your son or your daughter or your father suddenly disappear, and you don't know about his whereabouts. You suffer. You are arrested at your home. So Eritrean families are another prisons for the families of the prisoners. I'm one of the ones who has to tell to the world what's happening in Eritrea. We don't have private media. We have only one television, one newspaper, and one radio owned by the government. For example, I went many countries before the corona. I had 3 times reading evening events in the UK, 1 time in Sweden, Switzerland, Holland, Vienna. Some of the events were organized by Eritrean community, so the audience were only Eritreans. And I don't feel comfortable when I stand and speak about my experience in front of them. I knew they passed through a harder time, harder than mine. Being a poet is not only having a skill to write a poem. being a poet means being truthful person, being kind, emotional, to be the voice of voice who couldn't raise their voices. And the one thing it was not in plan is to get out from Eritrea. Was not my plan. I never think I will go to. I never in my life. I never think that one day I will be in Germany, one day I will be in Europe. I never think that. So it's easier that it's easier to list what I didn't plan. At least I can do whatever I can. I can plan, and if I don't win, it's my fault. If I win, it's my credit. So at least I can do, and I can think whatever I want to do. On the ground, on practical, it's different, but it depends on my willing and my effort. But years ago, it was not in my control. So at least I'm glad that everything is on my hand. So maybe I cannot do some of them because of some reasons, but I can dream without any limitation. My mom, the only thing my mom wants from me is a child, only child, nothing other, nothing else. So if I'm lucky, I want to make my mom happy by that. I think from New Year I will take regular the language class. I will hopefully I will have many reading events, not only in German. So I can travel. From the capital city I was living to the town my family lives. No one can travel without the permission paper from the government, from city to city. Now I can travel from country to another country, from continent to another continent. So it's a lot for me. So now I can do what I can do. I can try what I want, at least. So the success of my life depends on my effort now. But years ago, it was not in my control, and this is the reality of everybody, every Eritrean.